I was giving her applause last night.
Good evening, everybody. This is Monday, May 1st, 2017. This is a special meeting of the Board of Education of Park Ridge-Niles School District 64. Tonight is the last official board meeting for this Board of Education. Vicki, for the last official time as Secretary of the Board, please take the roll.
Mark Egeman.
Here.
Bob Johnson.
Here.
Vicki Lee is here. Tony Borelli.
Here.
Scott Zimmerman.
Here.
Tom Sotos.
Here.
Terry Cameron.
Here. Tonight, for once in a long time, we have no closed session to offer. Indeed, tonight is the antithesis of our last meeting. The board has recently just completed a marathon session this past Monday, April 24th, which lasted 7 hours, and with which this board was able to complete its responsibilities to the community. Tonight, we will welcome 4 new members to our board: Rich Biaggi, Larry Riles, Fred Sanchez, and Eastman II. At the conclusion of this special meeting, and after a short recess to honor the evening, the official organization meeting of the new board will immediately follow. 2 new board members will have orientation on May 8th, and that date will be for Rick Biaggi and Eastman II, and 2 more new board members on May 16th for Larry Riles and Fred Sanchez. Our next meeting and first for the new board will be on May 22nd and held at Emerson. On May 30th, the entire board will meet at Jefferson for an evening with our local IASB representative, Barb Toney, to discuss board conduct and governance. At our special meeting in Cow of June 12th, we'll be joined by the district's attorney, Tony Loisy, who will provide new board member orientation. As an update on the IFT negotiations, the board recently met with representatives for secretaries, custodians, and maintenance workers on April 27th. We have continued to reach compromises on several working condition issues, with much more yet to be done. Financial issues have yet to be discussed pending the seating of the new board. Per the OMA, we go to the public for comments, and being that this is a short agenda, I imagine any comments would be welcome to any item on or not on the agenda. So is there anybody who would like to approach the podium? And not seeing anybody, we will move along on our agenda. The first item tonight, and it's one of the final acts of the outgoing board, is to accept the canvass of votes for the recent election. And this action item can be found on page 5 of the packets. Any comments or questions? If not, would somebody like to make a motion?
I move that the Board of Education of Community Consolidated School District 64, Park Ridge-Niles, Illinois, accept the result of the canvass of votes for the election of board members from the Cook County Clerk in the form provided to the Board of Education, and that the canvassing results be reflected in the minutes of the meeting.
Second?
Second.
Bob's got the second, starting with Terry.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
By 7-0 vote, the board accepts the canvass of votes. The next item is the final act of this outgoing board, and it's to accept the minutes of our most recently concluded meeting. This action item can be found on page 10. Any alterations, deletions, contributions, modifications, substitutions, and any other oceans that you can come up with. Not hearing any, is there a motion?
I move that the Board of Education of Community Consolidated School District 64, Park Ridge-Niles, Illinois, approve the minutes for the regular and closed session meeting on April 24th, 2017.
Second.
Vicki's got the second, starting with Mark.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes. Aye.
Now, we have a few items presented by Dr. Heinz, after which I'd like to make a few comments, and I think some of our other members would like to make some comments as well. So, Dr. Heinz.
Okay, Dr. Brill, you already talked about upcoming meetings in May. I do want to mention that our regular meeting on the 22nd of May is my favorite meeting of the year. It is a feel-good meeting where we honor teachers that we are awarding tenure after 4 hard years of work. They will be granted tenure in District 64. We share the ELF grants, and that's usually an exciting day for teachers that have written grants and are excited to bring the grant awards back to their buildings to work on the innovative ideas that they've set forth in that grant. We also honor a number of teachers and students at that meeting as well. So it's a great meeting, and I think a nice way for a new board to step into the role. This week marks the beginning of Teacher Appreciation Week. All of our schools, our PTAs and O's, have really gone out of their way to make the teachers feel appreciated, and they have a variety of wonderful activities planned throughout the week. Students are getting involved. Some of them are writing cards and letting their teachers know how much they value their hard work and the important role that they play in helping educate them. We have also launched in the month of May a Twitter challenge across the district where the students will be involved and the staff will be involved in using Twitter to share the many wonderful things taking place in District 64. So watch for some of our hashtags, engaged D64, and we have a D64 Innovate new hashtag. So we have a lot going on with Twitter this month. I was in one of the elementary school buildings today, and you know when the ABC countdown starts that we are nearing the end of another school year. It always starts the last 26th day of the school year, and they count backwards from Z to A. And on A, they are all done with the year. So we know that the end is near when that ABC countdown takes place. The last day of school for students is June 1st. Teachers will be back on June 2nd to do their Records Day, and that was communicated to district families via school messenger, but I will remind everyone a couple times between now and then because we tend to have at least a few students that do come to school on that last day when no other kids are in the building, so we try to advertise it as often as we can. On May 18th, I look forward to another exciting end-of-the-year milestone where we will award and honor, thank staff that have been here for 25 years of service. That's quite an accomplishment. And we will also be sending off many of our retirees. We hold that event in town at the Country Club, and it's a lovely way to honor everyone and show our appreciation for a job well done in the district. This week, or next week rather, we are interviewing for the field principal. Although it's going to be hard to replace Mrs. Kelly, we do have a nice slate of candidates, and we will be bringing to the board on May 22nd, we hope, the new field principal for approval. So that's it for me.
Okay. Since 2013, the Board of Education has maintained a tradition of honoring retiring board members. Tonight, I would like the honor of doing so, but first I ask if there's any board comments that would like to come first.
Sure, Tony, I've got a few comments I'd like to make, a few minutes. I'd like to offer my congratulations first to the newly elected board members. I sincerely appreciate your willingness to dedicate your time and skills to lead the community treasure of the Park Ridge-Niles School District. As you know, many of the residents of our community specifically choose to live here, specifically to have their children educated in District 64. The school district exists to educate the children. That is and always should be our primary purpose. Your challenge will be how to achieve that education, managing the many other components, including teachers, administrators, finances, regulations, parents, and the community. You are the new stewards of the community treasure that has benefited from others like you who have given of their time and talents, and I wish you well. There are many people in the many roles who contribute to our great school district. There are teachers, teacher assistants, principals, assistant principals, nurses, custodians, secretaries, counselors, and others. These individuals are on the front lines of making our school district great, and I appreciate all they do. Our administrative team is also to be acknowledged for their contributions, and I have sincerely appreciated the good work and counsel of those folks, many of whom are at the table here and are in the audience. Your zeal for the work you do with our staff and our children is much appreciated. Of course, Dr. Lori Hines, as the district's Chief Executive Officer, carries the heaviest of loads for the district. Dr. Hines and I have had the opportunity to work together since the start of her tenure with District 64. I've been thoroughly impressed by Dr. Hines' tireless efforts operating at both the strategic and tactical levels of her job in leading the district. I can't say enough about the results you have generated and the path towards success that you have created for the district. To my fellow board members, I want to express my thanks for what you've done for the community. To Terry, thank you for your prior service on the board and for your willingness to step forward and contribute over the past couple of months. To Mark and Tom, I can't believe 2 years has flown by with you guys already. Mark, thanks for your thoughtfulness about challenging the board to be better at transparency and thorough regarding topics to be discussed in open meetings. Tom, I know you put a lot of effort and research into the topics we are considering, and I appreciate the viewpoints and considerations you've contributed towards the district's operations. Vicki, thank you for stepping forward to be the board secretary over the past 2 years. I've enjoyed the past 3 years of sitting next to you, and I appreciate your dedication to being a board member. Scott, the contributions you've made to the board during my tenure are numerous. I can't count the number of times where you've come forward with ideas that never occurred to me. It's been a pleasure to work with you on the many tasks we've encountered over the years. To Tony Borelli, without question, I imagine among the fellow board members, Tony is the most dedicated board member. He doesn't tell you about all the time that he spends as president of the board, but as a board member, you know what he has done and what he is doing. Tony has done a fabulous job of president of the board. He is even-handed, goes out of his way to give consideration to all points of view, conducts thorough research on our topics and challenges, and gladly wears the mantle of being the board's spokesperson. Tony, I know that you put in all this effort, not for any accolades, but please know that your efforts are recognized and appreciated, and it is the children of the district that are the greatest benefactors of your work. In closing, related to Tony, I would say to the continuing and new board members, if Tony Borelli is interested in being president of the board for the next 2 years, I would strongly advocate for his selection. To the new board members, I think you will find that there are many nuances to the board and the education community, and you will find yourself well served to look for a leader who can help navigate the board's business and duties while you get educated on the facets of helping to guide our community treasure. And finally, personally, for myself, the most important things in my life are my family and my religion. As my fellow board members, administration, and staff leaders know, there are many hours devoted to being a board member. I want to thank my family, including my daughter Colleen, who's here this evening, and my wife Carol, for her efforts in giving me the ability to dedicate time away from home to be of service to the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Those are extremely kind words. I appreciate it. Tom, do you have your 72-page document ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Not quite 72 pages, though.
70.
I would like to start by thanking each of you for your service to our children, taxpayers, the district, and the teachers. I would like to think that you all had a hand in my growth as a school board member. Bob, your preparedness and attention to detail and your knowledge of finance has pushed me to strive to better knowledge myself of finance. Vicki, your quiet and calm manner has showed me that I don't need to always be loud and forceful to be effective. Scott, the way you formalized your responses and eloquently presented your opinions taught me that if one wants to be heard, how you present your opinion or take a position on an issue is equally as important as to the opinion and the position itself. Dathan, I learned from Dathan the public service places all of us under a microscope. Dathan was a great counselor and a friend during my early months when I was virgin to the works of a school board. He would often call me and let me know if he felt I was out of order during any meeting or if I was inappropriate. However, he never judged me for it. He tried to teach and counsel me instead. Terry, you reminded me that this is a selfless position. You were elected to the board, was unable to complete your term, and then yet, when you were needed to fill a void, you stepped up and filled that void, knowing it would be for only a short time. Your knowledge and familiarity with this district and this board was invaluable to us these past few months, and thank you. It was a pleasure and my honor to have worked with you these past 2 years. I hope the friendship made during our time on this board will remain.
Very nice.
Thank you, Tom. We now arrive at the occasion of well, before I go on, is there anybody else who would like to make a comment?
Well, I'd just like to say that I would like to thank the two boards that I was able to work with, and of course my family, because we give up time with our family to do these service positions. And I learned a lot from all of you and from the administrators, the teachers, and especially the board members. I feel our board, both boards, accomplished many things. as you will find out there, much of what you do is very procedural, going through and dotting the i's and crossing the t's. But I feel our board really tackled some things and really made progress. And the three things that I'm most proud of is our hiring of Lori to lead this district to the place where I believe it's heading, and that's excellence and continuous improvement. The second thing I'm extremely proud of is Tony and Scott tirelessly and effortlessly guiding us through the PREA contract. And I am convinced with your leadership that we had the outcome that we needed. And I continually learn from you guys and always look to you for guidance. Thank you. And the third thing was the residency. Making sure that we are educating the people that are living and spending money on their taxes in this community. And I think that's been extremely successful. I would urge the new board to listen to the experts who are the teachers and the administrators. And I even think we need to listen to the students more, because I think they have great ideas. And I wish you guys the best. Thank you for this experience.
I guess if we're wrapping everything up, yeah, I'll go ahead here. First of all, congratulations to the new board members. Thank you for running. Thank you for the work that was involved. And thank you for the work you're about to embark upon, because I know firsthand how much it is, and I can say I sincerely appreciate it, as does everyone in the community. I guess I'd like to also begin by thanking the community for this amazing opportunity I had over the last few years. It truly was a blessing. It was incredibly enlightening. And in effect, you gave me a backstage pass to have a great view into seeing just how great this district is. And it is really, really remarkable. Every district will have its challenges, but it's a great place. From the teachers I've met who work tirelessly and are just overwhelmingly great people, to the administration we have, the support staff we have, the maintenance guys, everything. It's a remarkable place, and you have a really good opportunity to see it. I want to thank my fellow board members. I learned something from each and every one of you, and we've kind of gone through and named everybody, but sincerely I want to say how much I appreciate it, because I often came to a meeting and thought I knew what I was going to do, and I can't tell you how many times each and every one of you told me something new and made me think about it again, and often changed my mind in some way. So I really appreciate that with all sincerity. I'd like to thank my family who surprised me tonight and showed up here. I didn't know you were coming, and I can't tell you how glad I am you're here, but thank you for affording me the time to come here and do this and try to be part of this and to help out and pitch in. And I hope you do it someday when your turn comes along. And I guess, Tony, thank you in particular. It's been great working with you for so many years, and for those who have not sat next to the president, you have no idea how much work this is, and you do a tremendous amount of work for the community, and you really deserve to be applauded for it. And I guess lastly, for the new board members, if you would afford me the opportunity to give you maybe 2 bits of advice I got when I came on here, and I really thought they were worthwhile. One, you have a really unique opportunity to get in these buildings and see these things firsthand, and when you're new board members, I'd really encourage you to do it. Sit and work with the teachers a little bit. Go tour where you are. Have lunch in the cafeterias. Every principal would love to have you there. And don't just see one building or your own building. Go see as many buildings as you can. It really, really will help you get a better appreciation to make the decisions you'll make at this table. And there'll be really hard decisions sometimes. And I guess the last thing, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyways, when you get faced with a really hard decision, the best thing to do is always make sure every decision, you're always saying, what's best for the kids? We can't always do it. Sometimes we have finite resources, but just please always ask yourself with every decision, and particularly the hard ones, what's best for these kids? Because everyone else will come to that podium pretty much and speak to you, but they almost never do. And we got to sort of think for them a little bit. But with that, I want to thank everyone, because it has been a tremendous ride, and I've loved it.
Terry, a few words?
Well, listen, I've had the pleasure to do this twice. Sort of like deja vu. However, I can tell you that the first time around compared to the second time around was very, very different. The administration, the preparedness, the board packets, as well as even the community have been extremely supportive of the initiatives in the district. And I think a lot of that really has to do with the way this board has operated since I was gone for the last 2 or 3 years, I guess it was. So I really appreciate the opportunity to come back. I felt as though it was sort of my penance for leaving in the first place, and sort of felt like it was really something that was important for me, and I think for the board, hopefully, it was valuable, and to administration was valuable as well. But I really appreciate the folks that are coming onto the board, and really look forward to being the guidance and steward for the community, and we really hope that we can continue the efforts that you all have really done the last couple of years. So appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Terry, if I may,
I'm
in
just-
2 years, one second, sorry, Mark, in 2 years, there's going to be a couple seats open again. Just, mark your calendar, just in case.
I'll just piggyback on what pretty much everybody else has said. It's sad to see you all go, and all of you, each and every one of you, were a tremendous help, and there's a lot of different personalities at this table. So for us to be civil and really look to get beyond some of those things and work together and get some really good things done, I'm hoping that the next board members that join the table will have the same outlook on getting things done as we did. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. We now arrive at the occasion of the biennial new board seating for the District 64 Board of Education. Today, we understand that 4 of our members, having devoted their energy and efforts toward helping to improve the district, are concluding their terms and leaving the board. I would like to extend a personal thanks for their efforts, family time sacrifices they have expended, and the care and devotion they have exhibited on behalf of the community to the district. In a moment, I would like to note each individual for their service. These 4 individuals have served the community and conducted themselves in the highest sense as board members in accordance with all the suggestions and recommendations of the Illinois Association of School Boards and the state of Illinois. We, as board members, know good governance begins in part with having an open mind and then putting in the effort on prep work to be well-versed for any discussion. Our retiring board members have exhibited all of the above qualities and the ability to diligently work for the long-term benefit of the community. Leaving the board are Scott Zimmerman, Vicki Lee, Bob Johnson, and Terry Cameron. Scott first joined the board after being selected from a host of candidates, including me, to fill a board vacancy in 2010. Thereafter, running in 2 election cycles, 2011 and 2013, Scott has completed 7 years of board service. He has capably and notably served 6 of those 7 years as vice president of the board. Scott has time and time again provided leadership capabilities with his presentations of problem insight, board options, and practical solutions in helping direct the board through turbulent issues. Scott has used his extensive business and IT background to provide further insight and understanding to significant initiatives in the district. As a recent example, Scott was able to utilize his strong business background, ability to generate practical compromise, and steadfast belief in the marketplace as one of the board representatives during the recently completed and daunting PREA contract. This negotiation has resulted in millions of dollars in savings over the next several years for the district. His thoughts and decisions have always been concerned with the effect of district decisions, in particular financial decisions, on the taxpayers and community. Scott's voice has been a champion for a fair and respectful approach and response to all ideas and issues occurring in the district. Thank you for your service, Scott.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Vicki Lee. Vicki has just completed her 4th year as a district board member. She has served as board secretary since July of 2014. Dutiful in her administration of responsibility, Vicki has been a source of consistent and measured accountability for record keeping of the district. Having long served in many capacities in the district, including that of president of one of our PTOs, Vicki has brought a wide view and understanding of the district to her board experience. She has also been a constant in reminding the board of the personal side of decisions. Vicki's sense of community involvement and activism is highly developed. Recently, she's been involved in running for election of the 4th Ward City Aldermanic position. Obviously, her caring extends toward the entire community at large. Thank you for your service, Vicki. Bob Johnson. From among many candidates, Bob was selected by the board in 2014 to fill a board vacancy position. Bob has completed and more than capably fulfilled the responsibilities of that board-seated position. Going through one election cycle in 2015, he was elected by the community to serve the final 2 years of that position. Bob has brought to the board an extensive business background and has lent much in the way of his financial insight and personal experience. Bob, along with Vicki Lee, were the 2 board representatives in the just recently completed PRTAA contract negotiations, which, similar to the PREA negotiations, resulted in significant savings to the district over the next several years. We will miss Bob's insight, comprehension, and measured participation in issues, and his impossible to duplicate ability to comb through the consensus agenda financial reports for individual line item questions and explanations. Thank you for your service, Bob. And Terry Cameron. Initially elected in 2013 and immediately selected as board secretary, Terry has lent his knowledge and abilities to the board on 2 separate occasions. As business opportunities arose, Terry gave up his board seat, assumed by Bob Johnson, to move to Denver to begin a challenging new position. As things turned out, fate brought Terry back to Park Ridge. Terry's commitment to civic participation did not end with his first move. With the recent opening of a board seat, using his prior knowledge of board procedures, protocol, and experience, Terry applied for and was granted the appointment to fill the board vacancy. Difficult even in the best of circumstances, as it requires considerable work to get comfortable and up to date on issues before the board, Terry was reseated on February 21st, 2017, and served for 5 meetings in 9 weeks. Terry contributed fully and at a high level of understanding, insight, and participation in the issues of the district. Terry has shown true civic responsibility with his persistent participation and civic advocacy. Thank you for your service, Terry. We owe these and other past board members and other like civic participants our debt of gratitude. My many thanks to these 4 individuals for their considerable amounts of time, input, and assistance led towards helping guide the district for the past several years. My best wishes for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
And everybody's got your awards. No, did you open them up? Did you look at them?
You can do that at home, but we do have a little reception in the back.
Well, I've got a little bit more to go.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I should have known.
Yeah. And now, at last, we will adjourn this meeting and retire this board. We will, however, as protocol and tradition dictates, adjourn this meeting in sine die. This Latin phrase, meaning indefinite or without a date set for a future meeting, is to imply that this board's presence, though adjourned, has its actions and works live on in the community regardless of any change in membership. And as Dylan Thomas wrote, we will not go gently into that good night. For the final time, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not hearing any, we are adjourned. Please join us for a reception immediately following. Thank you.